Complementary inputs. Concertina method of tariff reduction. Concessionary prices. Conciliation. Condorcet criterion. Confederation of British Industrial. Confidence interval. Confidence problem. Congestion costs. Conglomerate. Conjectural behavior. Conjectural variation. Consistency. Consistent. Consolidated balance sheets. Consolidated fund. Consols. Consortium bank. Conspicuous consumption. Constant capital. Constant elasticity of substitution CES production function. Constant market share demand curve. Constant prices. Constant returns to scale. Constable market. Constrained optimization. Constraint. Constraint informal. Consumer. Consumer's surplus. Consumer borrowing. Consumer choice. Consumer credit. Consumer demand theory. Consumer durable. Consumer equilibrium. Consumer expenditure. Consumer goods and services. Consumer price index. Consumer sovereignty. Consumption. Consumption bundle. Consumption expenditure. Consumption externalities. Consumption function. Consumption tax. Contingency reserve. Contingency table. Contingent valuation. Continuous distribution. Continuous variable. Contractionary phase. Contract curve. Convergence thesis. Convergent cycle. Conversion. Conversion factor. Convertibility. Convertible bond. Convertible loan stock. Convertible security. Convex function convexity. Cooling off period. Corthe. Corner solution. Corn laws. Corporate capitalism. Corporate conscience. Corporate risk. Corporate state. Corporation. Corporation tax. Correlation. Correlation of returns. Correlogram. Correspondent banks. Corset. Cost. Cost-benefit analysis. Cost-effectiveness analysis. Cost insurance freight. Cost minimization. Cost of capital. Cost of living. Cost of protection. Cost overrun. Cost plus pricing. Cost push inflation. Cost utility analysis. Council for Mutual Economic Assistance Comecon. Council of Economic Advisers ECA. Countercyclical. Countertrade. Countervailing power. Countervailing duty. Coupon. Coupon payments. Cournot's duopoly model. Cournot Antoine A 1801-1870 Covariance. Covariance stationary. Covered interest parity. CO-ordinated wage policy. CPRS. Craft unions. Kramer's rule. Crawling peg. Credible threat. Credit. Creditors. Creditor nation. Credit account. Credit card. Credit ceiling. Credit control. Credit creation. Credit guarantee. Credit multiplier. Credit rationing. Credit restrictions. Credit squeeze. Credit transfer. Creeping inflation. Critical value. Cross-elasticity of demand. Cross-entry. Cross-partial derivative. Cross-sectional analysis. Cross-section consumption function. Cross-subsidization. Crowding hypothesis. Crowding out. CSO. Cubic. Cultural change. Culture of poverty hypothesis. Cumulative causation model. Cumulative preference shares. Cumulative shares. Currency school. Currency. Currency appreciation. Currency control. Currency depreciation. Currency notes. Currency principle. Currency retention quota. Currency substitution. Current account. Current and capital account. Current assets. Current cost accounting. Current income. Current liabilities. Current prices. Current profits. Custom and practice. Custom Co-operative Council. Custom excise and protective duties. Custom markets. Custom union. Cyclical unemployment. Cycling. Damage cost. Damp cycle. Data. Dated securities. DCF. Deadweight debt. Deadweight loss. Dear money. Debased coinage. Debentures. Debru Gerard. Debt. Debtor nation. Debt conversion. Debt finance. Debt for equity swaps. Debt management. Debt ratio. Decile. Decimal coinage. Decision function. Decision lag. Decision rule. Decision theory. Decreasing cost industry. Decreasing returns. Decreasing returns to scale. Deferred ordinary shares. Deficit. Deficit financing. Deficit units. Deflation. deflationary gap, deflator, degree of freedom, degree of homogeneity, deindustrialization, Delors report, demand, demand curve, demand deficient unemployment, demand deposits, demand for exchange, demand for inflation, demand for money, demand function, demand management, demand pull inflation, demand schedule, demand shift inflation, demography, demonetization, density gradient, dependence structure, dependency burden, dependent variable, depletable and renewable resources, depletion allowance, deposit, Depository Institution Deregulation and Monetary Control Act of 1980. Deposit account, deposit money, depreciation, depreciation rate, depressed area, depression, deregulation, derivative, derived demand, deseasonalization, desired capital stock, determinant, deterministic distribution, detrending, devaluation, devaluation and revaluation, developing countries, development area, development planning, development strategy, deviation, Dickey-Fuller test, difference equation, difference principle, difference stationary process DSP, differencing, differentials, differentiated growth, differentiation, diffusion, Dillon round, diminishing marginal rate of substitution, diminishing marginal utility, diminishing marginal utility of wealth, diminishing returns, directors, director's law, direct costs, direct debit, direct taxes, dirigiste, dirty float, disadvantaged workers, discharges, discounted cash flow DCF, discounted cash flow yield, discounting, discount house, discount market, discount rate, discouraged worker, discouraged worker hypothesis, discrete distribution, discrete variable, discretionary profits, discretionary stabilization, discriminating monopoly, discrimination, discriminatory pricing, diseconomies of growth, diseconomies of scale, disembodied technical progress, disequilibrium, disguised unemployment, disincentive, disinflation, disintermediation, disinvestment, dispersion, displacement effect, disposable income, dissurveying, distance cost, distortions, distortions and market failures, distributed lags, distributed profits, distributional equity, distributional wage, distribution function, distribution stats, distribution theories of, distributive judgment, distributive justice, disturbance term, disutility, divergence, divergent cycle, diversification, diversifier, dividend, dividend cover, dividend payout ratio, dividend yield, division of labor, dollar certificate of deposit, dollar standard, Domar FZD, domestic absorption, domestic credit expansion, domestic-oriented growth, domestic resources cost, dominant firm price leadership, Doolittle method, double coincidence of wants, double counting, double factorial terms of trade, double switching, double taxation and double taxation relief, Dow Jones Index, dualism theory of, duality, dual decision hypothesis, dual labor market hypothesis, dummy variable, dumping, duopoly, duopsony, duration of unemployment, Durbin H statistic, Durbin-Watson, dynamic economics, dynamic externalities, dynamic model, dynamic peg, dynamic programming, dynamic theories of comparative advantage, earmaking, earning, earnings drift, earnings function, easy, easy money, ECGD, eclectic Keynesian, econometrics, econometric model, economics, economic base, economic base multiplier, economic community, economic cost, economic CO operation administration, economic development, economic development committee, economic development institute, economic dynamics, economic efficiency, economic good, economic growth, economic imperialism, economic liberalism, economic man, economic planning, economic policy, economic price, economic profit, economic rate of return, economic rent, economic surplus, economic theory of polities, economic union, economic welfare, economies of learning, economies of scale, economy of high wages, ECSC, ECU, EC Agricultural Levies. Edgeworth Francis Isidro. EEC. Effective. Effective demand. Effective exchange rate. Effective protection. Effective rate of protection. Effective rate of return. Effective rate of tax. Efficiency. Efficiency coefficient of investment. Efficiency earnings. Efficiency units. Efficiency wages. Efficiency wage theory. Efficient asset market. Efficient market hypothesis. Efficient resource allocation. Effort aversion. EFTA. EIB. Elasticity. Elasticity of demand. Elasticity of input substitution. Elastic and unit elastic demand. Eligible asset ratio. Eligible paper. Elitist good. EMA. Embodied technical progress. Emoluments. Employee stock ownership plan ESOP. Employment service. Employment subsidies. EMS. Encompassing test. Endogenous consumption. Endogenous income hypothesis. Endogenous money supply. Endogenous variable. Endowment effect. Energy intensity. Enfranchisement of the nomenclatura. Engagements. Engel's law. Engel curve. Engineering method. Entitlement principle. Entrepreneur. Entrepreneurial supply price. Entrepreneurship. Entry and exit. Entry barriers. Entry forestalling price. Entry preventing price. Environmental conditions. Environmental determinism. Environmental impact analysis. EPU. Equalization grants. Equalizing differences, the theory of equal advantage. Equal Employment Opportunity Act of Olut vc Hivik Lam. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. Equal pay. Equal sacrifice theories. Equation of exchange. Equilibrium. Equilibrium error. Equilibrium level of national income. Equilibrium price. Equilibrium rate of inflation. Equities. Equity. Equity capital. Equivalence scale. Equivalent commodity scale. Equivalent income scale. Equivalent variation. ERM. Errors variables. Error correction models ECMs. Error learning process. Escalators. Estate duty. Estate economy. Estimation. Estimator. EUA. Euler's theorem. Euro currency market. Eurodollars. European Agricultural Guidance and Guaranteed Fund. European Bank for Reconstruction and Development. European Coal and Steel Community. European Common Market. European Community. European Community Budget. European Currency Unit. European Development Fund. European Economic Community. European Free Trade Association. European Fund. European Investment Bank. European Monetary Agreement. European Monetary Cooperation Fund. European Monetary Fund. European Monetary System EMS. European Monetary Unit of Account. European Payments Union. European Recovery Program. European Regional Development Fund. European Social Fund. European Unit of Account. Eurostat. Exact test. Excess burden. Excess capacity. Excess capacity theory. Excess demand. Excess productive capacity, idle excess goods. Excess profit. Excess reserves. Excess supply. Excess wage tax. Exchange. Exchange control. Exchange equalization account. Exchange rate. Exchange rate mechanism. Exchange rate speculation. Exchange reserves. Exchequer. Excise duty. Excise taxes. Excludable. Exclusion. Exclusion principle. Executive. Exempt goods. Exhaustive voting. Existence theorem of. Exit voice model. Exogeneity. Exogeneity of money supply. Exogenous. Exogenous variable. Expansionary phase. Expansion path. Expatriate. Expectations. Expectations augmented. Expectations lag. Expected inflation. Expected net returns. Expected utility theory. Expected value. Expenditure approach. Expenditure switching policies. Expenditure tax. Expenditure variation controls. Expense preference. Explanatory variable. Explicit function. Exploitation. Explosive cycle. Exponential. Export. Export Credit Guarantee Department. Export-Import Bank. Export-led growth. Export-oriented industrialization. Export promotion. Extensive margin. Externalities. External ballast. External deficit. External diseconomy. External economy. External finance. External financial limits. External growth. External labor market. External reserve. Extraneous information. Extrapolative expectation. Extrema. Extrema Keynesian. Ex ante. Ex post. Factorial. Factoring. Factors of production. Factor augmenting technical progress. Factor endowment. Factor incomes. Factor intensity. Factor price equalization. Factor price frontier. Factor proportion. Factor révérence. Factor substitution effect. Factor utilization. Fair comparisons. Fair rate of return. Fair trade law. Fair trading office of. Fair wages. Fallacy of composition. False trading. Family credit. Family expenditure survey. Family unit agriculture. FAO. FASB. FCI. Feasibility study. Featherbedding. Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation FDIC. Federal Fund Market. Federal Home Loan Bank System FHLBS. Federal Nation Mortgage Association FNMA. Federal Open Market Committee. Federal Reserve Note. Federal Reserve System. Federal Trade Commission Act. FedThe. Feedback. Feudalism. Fiat money. Fiduciary issue. Filter. Filtering. FIML. Final goods. Final offer arbitration. Final product. Finance. Finance Corporation for Industry. Finance House. Finance Houses Market. Financial Capital. Financial DISP line. Financial Instrument. Financial Intermediary. Financial Price. Financial Rate of Return. Financial Ratios. Financial Risk. Financial Statement. Financial Times Actuaries Share Indices. Financial Times Industrial Ordinary Index. Financial Year. Finite Horizon. Finite Memory. Firm. Firm-specific human capital. Firm theory of the. First difference. First order condition. Fiscal decentralization. Fiscal drag. Fiscal federalism. Fiscal illusion. Fiscal multiplier. Fiscal policy. Fiscal welfare benefits. Fisher equation. Fisher-Irving. Fisher Open. Fist best and second best efficiency. Fixed. Fixed asset. Fixed coefficients production function. Fixed cost. Fixed exchange rate. Fixed factors. Fixed labor costs. Fixed price model. Fixed proportions in production. Fixed price and flex price. Flat yield. Flexible exchange rate. Flexitime. Flight from cash. Float. Floating capital. Floating charge. Floating debt. Floating exchange rate. Floating pound. floor, flotation, flow, flow of funds analysis, FOB, Food and Agriculture Organization FAO, Footloose Industries, FTSE, Forced riders, forced saving, forecasting, forecast error, foreign aid, foreign balance, foreign exchange, foreign exchange market, foreign exchange reserve, foreign investment, foreign payments, foreign trade multiplier, forward and contingent market, forward contract, forward exchange market, forward integration, forward linkage, forward market, forward markets and spots markets, forward rate, foundation grant, Fourier analysis, fractional reserve banking, fractional reserve system, franked investment income, freedom of entry, freed good, free exchange rates, free market economy, free on board, free reserves, free rider problem, free trade area, frequency distribution, frictional and structural unemployment, frictional unemployment, fringe benefit, Frisch Ragnar, FTSE, functional costing, full-bodied money, full cost pricing, full employment budget surplus, full employment national income, full employment unemployment rate, full information maximum likelihood FIML, function income distribution, function of function rule, funded debt, funding, futures contract, futures market, future value, F statistic, gains from trade, Galbraith John Kenneth, galloping inflation, game theory, GATT, Gauss-Markov theorem, GDP and nation income, GDP at factor cost, GDP at market prices, GDP deflator, gearing ratio, generalized least square GLS, generalized system of preferences GSP, general agreement of tariffs and trade GATT, general agreement to borrow, general arrangement to borrow GAB, general classification of economic activities in T, general equilibrium, general grant, general human capital, general linear model GLM, general price level, general theory of employment interest and money, general union, Geneva Conference, Geneva Round, geographic frontier, Geometric lag. Jiffin good. IFS tax. Gilbrat's law of proportionate growth. Gilt-edged securities. Gini coefficient. Gyro system. Gleichzer test. GNP. Gold bugs. Golden rule. Golden rule of accumulation. Oldfeld quant. Gold age growth. Gold bricking. Gold certificate. Gold exchange standard. Gold export point. Gold import point. Gold market. Gold points. Gold reserve. Gold standard. Goodhart's law. Goodness of fit. Goods. Goodwill. Gauss plan. Government deficit. Government expenditure. Government Nation Mortgage Association GNMA. Government regulation. Government securities. Government spending and net taxes. Government spending on goods and services. Gradualism. Gradualist monetarist. Graduate tax. Grandfather clause. Grand factor price frontier. Granger causality. Grant. Grant in aid. Gravity model. Great leap forward. Green pound. Green revolution. Gresham's law. Gross barter terms of trade. Gross domestic fixed capital formation. Gross domestic product deflator. Gross domestic product GDP. Gross investment. Gross margin. Gross national income. Gross profit. Gross trading profit. Group of Nhum 77. Group of 7. Group of 10. Growth gap unemployment. Growth path. Growth profitability function. Growth rate. Growth stock paradox. Growth theories of the firm. Growth theory. Growth valuation function. Guaranteed week. Guidelines. Guideposts. Guidepost following behavior. GSM group of 7. Havelmo Trigov. Haberler Gottfried. Habit creating demand function. Halesbury Committee. Hammered. Hardcore unemployed. Hard currency. Harmony of interests. Harrod-Domar growth model. Harrod neutral technical progress. Harrod Sir Roy F. Havana Charter. Hayek Friedrich Avon. Heckscher-Ullin approach to international trade. Hedgers. Hedging. Hedonic price. Hedonism. Herfindahl index. Heterogeneity. Heterogeneous capital. Heterogeneous product. Heteroscedasticity. Hicks-Hansen diagram. Hicks neutral technical progress. Hicks search on R. Hidden unemployment. High-powered money. Hyperbola. Hiring rate. Hiring standards. Histogram. Historical costs. Historical model. Historical school. Historicism. Hoarding. Hoarding company. Homogeneity. Homogeneous functions. Homogeneous product. Homogeneous product function. Homoscedasticity. Horizontal. Horizontal equity. Horizontal integration. Hotelling's rule. Hot money. Housing benefit. Human capital. Human wealth. Hume David. Hunt Commission. Hunt Report. Hyperinflation. Hypothesis testing. Hysteresis. IBBD. ICFC. ICOR. IDA. Identification problem. Identity. Identity matrix. Idiosyncratic exchange. Idle balances. Illiquidity. ILO. Imaginary number. IMF. Imitative growth. Immiserizing growth. Impact analysis. Impact multiplier. Impact of taxation. Imperfect competition. Imperfect market. Imperialism. Implementation lag. Implicit contracts. Implicit cost. Implicit function. Implicit price deflator. Inelastic and unit elastic demand. Negative correlation. National income identities. Normal distribution. Positive correlation. Probability distribution. Standard deviation. Step distribution. Triangular distribution. Union distribution.